Today, I'll recount a banquet with you, embodying the essence of the main story. Davisi extended aid to people in the area now referred to as Grilla, rescuing them. Here's what happened in detail. You should extend help to David whenever he's facing challenges.
Keilah's men, despite receiving assistance, did not save David as one might anticipate, which took everyone by surprise.
This instance portrays betrayal and the absence of aid, a rather distressing situation.
Today in the 7th verse, what is David's coming to Keilah?
Someone alerted April?
Now,
King Saul killed David.
the reasoning behind these actions needs to be understood carefully. This has led to an intense military pursuit, yet David countered boldly by addressing Sawala while navigating this perilous pursuit. We have David situated prominently within the sprawling province of Keilah, specifically in Keilah itself.
Someone relayed information to me. So what were Saul's exact words? Hey, now it's God's decision to intervene.
You have successfully delivered him right into my grasp, a turn of events that cannot be overlooked.
It's a joyous moment, something to celebrate. So who exactly stands out today?
Who precisely can be identified within the context of this text?
It told me David's location. This verb says to inform.
In the original text. It emerges as a masculine singular verb, though in Hebrew grammar such verbs often form part of a predetermined linguistic set.
It can also be singular. So here.
Which one comes out?
Is it just one person, a few individuals, or possibly some men that Saul stationed in Keilah?
It seems to be either an informant or something similar. I don't know.
David represented the people of that region and their needs.
Extend help to them when they face crisis and challenges. Have you ever saved me?
This is meant to repay the kindness your mother has shown.
Literally.
Today's passage highlights a moment where typical notions of common sense are betrayed. What happens to grace in such instances?
Ordinarily, we adhere to common sense in our daily lives.
Take a moment to reflect. How should we repay kindness or a favor?
Grace by grace?
I have to pay you back, right? But
What if you repay the favor with betrayal?
what exactly is going to happen here? What does this betrayal entail? Turning away from faith, huh?
Yeah, what the hell?
Certainly, betrayal in any form is quite awful. Outside common sense.
Betrayal is far more detrimental and damaging. It's a betrayal outside of common sense. What do you do? Betrayal?
Those who don't betray you.
Someone who has received a lot of grace.
Are you betraying me? That's why.
Oh, I must emphasize that betrayal is gravely severe, utterly fatal, and entirely unacceptable.
Yeah, this betrayal.
Of course, it shouldn't be.
Teeth!
Bone pen except common sense.
Betrayal is omnipresent, deeply wounding our hearts, stirring great resentment, and ultimately destabilizing our lives with its destructive impact.
Under.
The perpetrator of that gathering's betrayal, while perhaps not seen as monumental, is embedded in the everyday expectations of human behavior.
Suffering.
This victim is literally the kind of pain that leaves him deeply hurt and can live in pain for the rest of his life.
What are we?
Betrayal conjures vivid imagery akin to the dramatic flair of new wave cinema, a recurring spectacle often portrayed in TV dramas. She endured unimaginable challenges, dedicating herself entirely to ensure his success, supporting him selflessly, and he triumphed due to her sacrifices.
What do you do when you get ahead?
He turned to another woman, an act of betrayal not only towards her but also his father. One wonders how to respond. Perhaps justice calls for the betrayer to face firm punishment. Yes, we have this.
When you watch this practice drama called a bad drama, you know the ending clearly. That bad thing and that. Now, in the end, obviously.
You will suffer. You will suffer.
The fact that it says,
I'm sure I know.
but still that. I'm boiling my stomach while watching eagerly. I absolutely need to destroy that thing right away, but despite the urge, I have to endure this suffering urgently. That old time. Have you all heard of the famously iconic song by Dante that resonates powerfully? Something similar there. There's a story coming out, a cool story coming out. Probably. There is also an interesting individual who goes by the name Dante. Betrayal. I was likely betrayed before. He must have been upset in the past due to being hurt. But when analyzing the lyrics of that new song, it feels like he's portraying himself as the one who committed the betrayal.
Send this pain to hell. Where is the most painful hell? In Dante's new song, it is expressed that there is the most painful hell in the basement of the earth. The old layer of hell, it was expressed that hell is in the earth, and the bottom of the old layer is the most. There is a terrible hell. But who goes to hell? These traitors are going to hell. So there are people like Garan Judas in hell, people like Kim Jong-bai who know our country well, you know? Is it Kim Jong-bai?
Those very individuals remain present.
I'm going. The kind that has built up a lot of faith. People who have committed shameless acts go to that area. This betrayal?
Wounds in the hearts of loved ones cut deep.
The wound is deep and very painful because it is driven by a real nail.
Now, if you look at the text today, David is suffering from it. David is king in April.
That death.
Chased by threats.
Isn't there?
Captured equals death. A very harsh reality.
Under immense danger, such a grim situation.
The Keilah people.
I helped.
David, the true hero, bravely risked his life to offer help. However, today's David seems different.
Facing numerous challenges, I found refuge yet again in the Keilah region. But how did this lead to April? He expressed his intention to hand it over. How does one truly feel in such circumstances? It must be a dreadful experience. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I
helped you guys and saved my life, but now you need to hide me for a while.
Are you saying that you plan to take me and ultimately give it to April? Is that your intention?
There can be.
David might be the one, most likely. You must have trembled.
Darwin was not the only one who was betrayed. Jesus was betrayed like this.
I've been there before, God the most.
the tough kind.
Moment.
In my most challenging moments, God's overwhelming love embraced me in ways beyond comprehension.
People you trust may eventually betray you and leave without a trace.
Needless to say, cross.
Absolutely everyone I've encountered.
No matter what happens, even if my faith falters, I will never renounce my belief in God.
Even the confident Peter and all the disciples, including the Bedouin, abandoned Jesus in fear. Though fear might have driven them, betrayal is in truth universal and not uncommon to anyone. It's devastating to realize we all have the potential to betray. Reflect on it. Perhaps you've been betrayed in ways you've yet to fully acknowledge from those closest to you, surprisingly even me.
Pain was a stranger to me, but for how long?
Is there anyone not touched by betrayal? This world is a canvas painted with acts of deception. You can't go wrong if it's full. Your partner betrays you, your friend betrays you, and sometimes your trusted husband betrays you or your wife. Returning favors with revenge in the face of small gains.
Those individuals who seem to embrace betrayal outside the boundaries of common sense and acceptable norms.
How vast and overwhelming might it be?
That's precisely why mental preparedness is vital. If betrayal flourishes and it extends beyond norms, how should we fortify our minds? I must ensure I won't be betrayed. Should I bolster my mental defenses against such acts? Perhaps it requires a deeper resolve, not merely protection from betrayal, but a commitment to resilience. Prepare your heart and mind to resist becoming a traitor.
A traitor, right?
You must first possess the inner strength not to betray others. This principle aligns deeply with Christian teachings and values.
So today in verse 10,
I saw that David was angry.
that day,
There was retaliation against people, but no, David's response wasn't about vengeance.
In moments of anger and frustration, I offer prayers to seek guidance. I turn to God and seek clarity, asking for wisdom and direction to navigate challenges with resolve.
Oh my God, April is that day.
Are you coming to kill me? So I asked, and then the second thing I asked again, God, no, but
I saved those people that day.
You have an enemy?
I helped you, don't you remember?
If these people have even a small conscience, what about me?
Can you leave it to April? Really betrayed. I asked two things like this. What did God answer? They both will do that. April will also come. What do the people of Keilah do? It means betraying Barrett.
Did God say such things?
Did you give it to me? Of course, it was not without circumstances for the Illa people. Why don't you know how to be grateful? If you are not grateful, you are an animal. Yes. It's an animals, or even animals, are grateful. I know animals are thankful. Worse than that animal.
People who don't know how to be grateful are really better than animals.
You didn't do it?
Why wouldn't the residents of Ella feel the same way? Could there be a specific reason for your gratitude?
I am uncertain about this, but could you elaborate?
Saul initiated an aggressive assault.
It's coming.
If you remain with David, the issue will escalate and involve King Saul.
He died.
King Saul.
The army.
Can you just leave people alone on that day?
You don't, do you?
Naturally, David came to the aid of Keilah's people, ensuring their safety and providing significant support.
There is an enemy, but now.
If your aim is survival rather than facing Saul's wrath, you must make prudent decisions swiftly.
I have no choice but to throw it away.
To leave,
There's no other way. Keilah will fight against the army of Saul in order to have the favor of the world above.
I mean, what options do I have without strength or influence? How can I manage this situation?
There's no other way.
what challenges, fears, or internal struggles might this individual be grappling with? I feel pushed to betray, but deep down I know it's not the right decision. It's not who I am.
Maybe I can do it.
I don't believe the majority of people view things as I do. Why is it often different?
Like that.
People seem to be weak.
Since it's not explicitly stated in the Bible, let's examine it further. How remarkable is the unwavering faith of Jesus' disciples truly. You respected and followed Jesus like life, but
Driven by a trembling fear for their lives, they all fled and disappeared in haste, abandoning everything.
In today's text,
the people of that day were like this. Such undeniable truths manifest sometimes in various junctures of life, resonating deeply. Wouldn't you agree, everyone?
Now take a moment to thoughtfully reflect and directly respond to the complex question regarding the act of betrayal.
betrayed deeply, significantly hurt, and wronged by just one individual, a solitary person.
Who among the many people can bear such a significant burden of betrayal?
More betrayed? More people have been betrayed? More people have been betrayed?
no, betrayal. Naturally, if someone happened to betray your trust completely,
No, absolutely not. It would just be a direct one-on-one confrontation between individuals.
so is the betrayer and the betrayed the same?
Wouldn't that be perfectly acceptable in some contexts?
Why the betrayed?
Betrayal.
Why is it that there always seems to be a presence of more people involved in such situations?
Why is that so? Now they term it as some kind of psychological mechanism or pattern, yet it's what people always mention.
He did it himself.
What sort of mistakes or morally questionable deeds are we really discussing here?
Trying not to remember.
You say you have a habit? Oh, they say there is such a psychological mechanism. So betrayal.
The person who suffered that pain for the rest of his life.
Ultimately, I betrayed you.
What about people?
You'll soon forget it. I don't remember that. There are always people who betray, and there are always many who are betrayed. Now, so when you talk about betrayal,
Someone else's.
betrayal, but we are Christians. You know what? Then it is really important that we always be careful not to betray ourselves. Sure,
Why?
being devout Christians ensures betrayal is never within our nature.
The temptation to turn your back.
When it occurs, deep reflection is essential. Even if I feel a little heartbroken and sad right now, I still have to be patient and endure thinking that I have received a lot. As we look at life for a long time, we must use our faith to prevent the painful ending caused by betrayal beyond common sense. And what we think about is when we are betrayed. It's time to taste betrayal.
Just like fundamental common sense mentioned earlier.
What do you do when you are betrayed? In the eyes.
Punish!
Are you trying to stop me and challenge me? You can take revenge and make them realize what they have done wrong. But when you are betrayed, there is something bigger than revenge. What is it? More serious and bigger than revenge is the wound in my heart. If you are betrayed beyond common sense, the shock of that heart is not enough. He's someone I trusted, He is a person who really put his heart into it.
I love someone, but did you receive it from someone like that?
Wounds that one enacts thoroughly for revenge.
Even if you choose to impose punishment, the effects could be significant.
It's not actually a solution or remedy to the problem in that regard.
Doing it doesn't make you cool. How can you do that?
2.
The remainder of my life feels consumed by emotional distress and endless pain.
My heart ceaselessly races, captivated by uncontrollable emotions.
Because of things like that.
There are decorative vases, but occasionally certain special ones cause your heart to pound faster and seem to swell from time to time.
So,
This hurt hard. Repairing emotional wounds is a significant focus in instances of betrayal. Friends, I ask myself now, was I ultimately betrayed by this person?
yeah, I'm human because I am now.
Who could possibly imagine enduring suffering to this extent?
Really?
Has my heart been scorched dark by him, the one held in thought and memory?
If a man exists, we hope that he would resolutely turn his eyes towards God, seeking divine guidance and presence. The wound is big.
The greater the pain, the closer we draw to God in search of solace.
Only through such a journey can we find true comfort and allow the healing process to mend our wounds.
There seems to be no path that enables me to elude the anguish and torment of this betrayal.
You can witness and understand it clearly, everyone.
Observe the essence of worldly existence. What deserves our unwavering reliance and trust is not humanity at its core, but those who epitomize genuine love for us.
Reborn saints for me.
Remember this crucial truth. Even Jesus Christ faced abandonment by God.
I implore you to find strength deep within and rise above your wounded heart. Always in this gallery.
The head.
These words of verses 20.
To embrace with a wounded heart, hardened by the enigma of the world, the wisdom embedded in the words of chapters 2 and 20 from Galatians.
It truly functions. The Old Testament unveils a packaging of ancient wisdom and teachings.
A man named Joseph.
You know?
Betrayal of common sense to my brothers.
Don't you suffer.
How much is your child's brother?
Even if deep resentment exists, the urge to harm one's younger brother is intense and complex.
Is there a plan to sell again? Brothers in question?
One to Jacob, one to Joseph.
Forget things for life.
Countless betrayals and pain inflicted, yet Joseph triumphed over the emotional scars of betrayal.
How do you overcome?
Overcoming with God?
Absolutely. Divine support remains the sole pathway. But the concept of God's betrayal raises questions.
Because of it.
The betrayal left me wounded with a deep connection to Joseph's suffering.
Joseph too.
Because he was with God, he attempted to end his life, seeking solace in healing the wounds inflicted by his brothers.
That unbearable anguish and suffering.
God may bring comfort in times of great pain and sorrow.
How can one truly find it in their heart to forgive their brothers?
Yeah, eventually.
This is the triumph that Joseph experienced. So, dear friends, as Christians, what about us? How do you and I measure up? Is it possible to avoid betrayal and refrain from experiencing harm and suffering? Perhaps not.
Even if I don't remember.
Though you may have been the one who betrayed, there is a profound verse from the Psalms that offers solace during our trials. It is a reminder that we must hold close to our hearts. Leave that part of the Bible.
When it's hard and difficult.
We firmly believe that as we read these words from Psalms, they have the power to heal the deepest wounds in our hearts with divine grace and comfort.
118 of them.
Let's focus on Psalm 118, exploring its profound messages and spiritual guidance.
From the 5th season.
Now, if you find it, we'll come number 1.
Sister.
Let me share some notable verses with you as we begin our journey through Psalm 118, originally established as a great cabinet of biblical insight.
Even the phrase.
In verse 25, I set aside verse 29 to ponder deeply, feeling weary and troubled by life's burdens, yet reassured by eternal hope. For those battling depression or distress, I urge you to read Psalm 118 and let its sacred prayers uplift your spirit and become the channel of God's healing power for your wounded heart. Despite betrayal, always remember, God will protect you. God saves us time and time again. So even when enduring substitutionary suffering, rise above despair and find strength in faith. You don't have to keep a wound on your chest for long. Give God a chance to trust and trust more. It is true that our time is full of the pain of betrayal, but we must not forget that the Lord has never fallen into betrayal. So we pray that we too may be saints who do not fall under betrayal and trust God deeply.
Do you desire to challenge or resist God?
I pray for you and me in God's name. Thank you for God's grace in today's weak times.
Our beloved DaeKwang.
Families really want to be able to keep the good heart of Christians always. Our hearts are filled with wounds and pain.
Becoming like calluses? Not that.
So that it can be maintained like the soft cheeks of a child. Therefore, when all difficult things come before they become hardened by wounds, we look to God, rely on God, hope, be comforted by the word, and protect our saints so that they can maintain the meek inner flesh of Christians. Stay with me and offer heartfelt prayers in Jesus' name.